Hello and welcome to part 69. In this video, we will learn about list. List is one of the generic collection present in system.collection.generic namespace. Actually, there are several generic collection in system.collection.generic namespace, which are mentioned here. We have dictionary that we have learned in the past couple of videos. In this video, we will learn the list, and in the upcoming videos, we are going to learn stack and queue also. Okay. A list can be used to create a collection of any type. It can be any inbuilt data type like integer, numbers, or strings. And it can be a complex data type also, like it can be customer list, like a list that will store customers object. It can be a list that can store employees objects also. So basically, list can contain any data type that we want. And list provides type safety. What it means? It means if I create a list of integer type, I am not allowed to store string data type in that. Okay. The object stored in the list can be accessed by index, or we can use a for each loop. Unlike arrays, list can grow in size automatically. If you remember from the videos of arrays, once the array is declared, after that we cannot change size of that. And if we try to access or store an element that is falling outside the range of an array, we will receive an index out of range exception. List class also provides method to search, sort, and manipulate the lists. Okay, enough of the theory. Let's open up the Visual Studio and see how the list will work. So to create a list, we can use list class. And if you notice here, you can see it is coming from system.collections.generic namespace. And when creating the list, we need to specify the type of it within the angular brackets because it is a generic class. So let's first say int, and let me call it some numbers, and I can use the new keyword to create an object of list class. Okay. Now I have a list, but currently nothing is stored in my list. To store any data in my list, we can use add method. We can use numbers.add1, numbers.add2, and so on. Okay, so like this, you can add elements in the list. To access the list, you can either use the index, meaning you can use square brackets and pass the index of the item that you want to retrieve. Let's say, let's fetch the second element, numbers, and within the square brackets, I'll pass the index that is 1. Because as we know, indexes starts from 0. So this will be at the 0th index. Next one is at first index, and the third one is at second index. So I want the second number. For that, I am passing the index as 1. And if I run my program, do you notice we are getting the 2 here because at the first index, we have the number 2. Okay. So guys, this is how you can create a list and access the elements from it. Similarly, you can use for each loop also. What you can do, you can see for each, and what I am saying here, integer I in numbers. So it will iterate all the integers which are present in numbers list. And let's do nothing but just print the number which we got here. If I run my program now, you can see I'm getting 1, 2, 3. So I'm able to iterate through all the numbers which are present in my numbers list. Now let's see how you can work with complex data type. For that, let's create a customer class. Okay. So I have added a customer class. This class has 3 properties: name, age, and city. Now let's create some objects of this class. So I have created 10 objects, meaning I have created 10 customers, and I have initialized the name, age, and city of those customers. Now let's create a list object and store all these objects inside the list. So what I can say list, and this time within my Angular brackets, I'll pass customer, and I will say customers as my list name, and I will again use the new keyword and create an object of list class. And now I can add my customers in my list. Okay, so I have again used the add method and I have added all my customers in the customers list. Now let's iterate through all those customers and print the name of these customers. So again, I will use for each loop, and this time I will say customer C in customers. What we want to print? We want to print the name of the customer. So let's say name equal to, and I can say C dot name. Now if I run my program now, you can see all the name of the customers are getting printed. So guys, this is how you can work with the complex data type using list. So these are some of the important methods that we can use with the list class. First one is the add method that takes an item and it adds the item at the end of the list. We have used this method to add customers in our customers list. Second method is insert. As the name suggests, it is used to insert an element at a specific index in the list. So it takes two parameters. First one is the index where we want to add the item, and second parameter is the item itself. So let's go back to Visual Studio and try this out. Okay, so now let's create one more customer. Let's say customer. Okay, so now let's say we want to add this customer in our list, but instead of adding it at the end, I want to add this customer at the second position. So just after the customer one, I want to add this new customer there. Okay, so for that, what I can do, I can use the insert methods. I will say insert. First parameter where I want to edit, I want to edit at second position, meaning at the first index. So I will say index as 1 and customer 11. Now if I run my program, you can see here the newly added customer is coming at the second position. So this is the functionality that you can achieve using the insert method. Okay, next method is add range. It is used to add a collection of elements at the end of the list. If you notice here, currently we are adding one customer at a time, but suppose you have two lists and you want to merge those two lists into one single list. So let's say I have one list that has customer 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we have a second list that contains all the other customers. So let me say customers 1, and let's add first 5 customer to it. I'm calling it customers 2, and let's add the other customers in this list. 6, 7, 8, and 9. Let's remove the customer 11. Okay, so both of these lists are having 5 customers. Now let's say we want to merge this customers list. So for that, what we can do, I can call customers 1 dot add range, and if you notice what it takes a collection of customers. So I can pass customers 2 in it. So what this will do, this will add customers 2's items in the customers 1 list. Okay, If I run a for each loop on a customer 1 now, you will notice we will have all the customers in customer 1 list itself. You can see I have all the customers from customer 1 and customers 2 list. Next method that we will discuss is remove method. As the name suggests, remove can be used to remove the first occurrence of an element from the list. Let's try this out. Let's say for some reason I want to remove customer 1 from my customer 1 list. Okay. So for that, what I can do, I can say customers 1 dot remove, and I can pass the item which I want to remove. I want to remove the customer 1, so I pass customer 1 here. And now if you notice, we will not see customer 1, that is John Doe, in our outcome. When we will print all the customers, we will not see this particular customer. You can see our list starts from Jane Smith, and the John Doe is now removed from the list. Okay. Next method is remove at. So using remove at method, what we can do, we can pass an index and we can remove an element from a specific index position. Okay. So it removes an element using an index. Let's try this out also. So I don't want to remove my customer 1 now. Now I want to use remove at index method to remove an element. So let's say I want to remove Emily Brown. Okay. What is the index of Emily Brown? Emily Brown is at 0, 1, 2, and 3. Emily Brown customer is at third index. So let's use again our customers 1 dot remove customers 1 dot remove at, and I can pass the index 3. Now if I run my program, you will notice I don't see Emily Brown now because we have removed Emily Brown using the index 3. Now let's see the remove all method. Remove all method is used to remove all the elements that are specified with a predicate. So actually remove all will take a predicate, meaning we can specify a condition, and all the elements which are satisfying that condition, those elements will be removed. Let's try this also. For now, let's remove the second list also to keep things simple, and again change it back to customer 1 and remove our add range method also. Okay, so now we have all the 10 customers in customer 1 list. Now let's try to use remove all method. So I will say customers 1 dot remove all. If you notice, it takes a predicate. Predicate is nothing but a condition that we can specify. Remove all the customer who is having age above 30. Okay. So let's say x such that x dot age is greater than 30. Okay. So what this will do, it will check all the customers, and if the customer is having age greater than 30, in that case, that customer will be removed from the list. Now let's print the age of the customers which are present in our list after doing the remove all operation. Let me say age equal to c dot age, and let's run the program. You can notice here all the customers are having age less than 30 or equal to 30, and all other customers are removed because of remove all method. Next method is clear. This is used to remove all the customer from the list. Let's try this also. So let's say I want to remove all the 10 customer from my list. What I can do, I can call customers one dot clear. That's it. This will remove all the customer, and when I will run my program, you will notice I will not receive any output. Output is blank because there are no customers present in my list. And to prove that, I can do one more thing. I can print the size of the list, meaning I can print the number of elements present in my list. To do that, I can use the property customers one dot count. So count will give me the number of elements present in the list. And if I run my program, you will notice we are receiving a 0 here because clear method has removed all the customer from the list. Okay, that's it for this video, guys. In the next video, we will continue our discussion and learn some of the other important methods that are available in list class.